2020-2014. On behalf of the ICC, can I thank the BCB, the fans, the volunteers, the sponsors, the international media and broadcasters, and finally the players for putting on such a great event here in Bangladesh. Let me introduce your presentation party for this evening: Mustafa Kemal, ICC Vice President; Shane Warne, ICC Hall of Famer; Najmal Hassan, BCB President; and Alan Isaac, the ICC President. Firstly, I would like to invite the match officials to come up and collect their medals from Mustafa Kemal, the ICC Vice President. Match referee David Boone. On-field umpires Ian Gould and Richard Kettleborough. Third umpire Rod Tucker. And fourth umpire Bruce Oxenford. Now it's time for the award of the player of this match. And to present this award, we have the great Shane Warne. There were some notable performances in this match, but the standout performance in the end, for his 52 not out in 35 deliveries, the player of the match in his last T20 for Sri Lanka, Kumar Sangakkara. Kumar, what a way to end. Carried round the ground, man of the match, and finally a victory for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We've had a 6 years, fifth final, and I can't be happier or prouder, because I think the side carried me all the way through to the final. I didn't do much other than keep wicket. I'm pretty happy that I was able to do something back for them and be a part of such a great side and win a World Cup.
You're quite emotional, aren't you? I mean, this means a lot to you.
Yeah, it does. It means a lot to all of us, to me, to our families, to everyone back home. We're just very happy and very proud and very humbled by this.
A word on the bowlers as well. I mean, you've kept wicket to them for a number of years. That was some phenomenal death bowling.
I thought it was amazing. The way Virat Kohli was batting, he was about to take the game away from us, but the last 4 to 5 overs, the Yorkers, the lengths we bowled, the fielding, this is what you call a team effort. I think that's what really set us apart all throughout the tournament. All credit to all the bowlers led by Lasith. Everyone in the side. Angelo Matthews had an amazing tournament. I'm just really proud to be a part of this team.
What did you think when you were out there and Pereira arrived in the middle? Did he ease the pressure on you?
He always eases the pressure when he gets going. He played some magnificent shots. We had some very good partnerships out there. India's always a tough side to play, but we're just happy finally to be on the winning side.
I know we're going to see you in other forms of the game, but just tell us what it means to you to play for Sri Lanka.
It means everything. I think my family and then playing for Sri Lanka, it's the two most important things that's happened to me in my life. And you know, there are no words to explain that, the pride we feel. All the guys out there, they're an amazing bunch, and we wear these colors with a lot of pride and with a lot of love.
Are you going to miss wearing those colors in T20 cricket?
I'll miss the colors when I go in any format, but everyone's got to go, and my time from this is now.
Thanks to you and Mahela for all the memories. Our man of the match, Kumar Sangakkara. Our next award, ladies and gentlemen, is for the player of the tournament. The jury for this award comprised of David Boone, the ICC match referee, Marais Erasmus, the ICC elite panel umpire, former international captain Wasim Akram, and also former West Indian fast bowler Ian Bishop and cricket journalist Uptal Shivro. There were some excellent performances throughout the tournament. Notable mentions go to Ravindra Ashwin and also to Imran Tahir, 11 wickets and 12 wickets respectively, but the standout performance by a country mile, the tournament for his 319 runs, Virat Kohli. Virat, I know you must be hugely disappointed right now, but you must be also very proud of the way you've batted in this tournament.
Well, yeah, firstly, congratulations to the Sri Lankan team, especially Mahela and Sangha, their last T20 game, and I think Darren was right. The God was indeed smiling on them, but all in all, a great performance from them. Yeah, I am disappointed was the line. We played great cricket throughout the tournament, unbeaten, but just one off day, and you know what can happen in 2020. But yeah, personally, I was pretty happy with the way I was hitting. Keeping things simple and try to stay in my zone, and that sort of worked for me.
Must be great for you, though. We've all known you're a good player in the last couple of years, but to do it on this big stage consistently, has really made you centre stage.
Yeah, definitely. Last T20 World Cup, also I tried to do my bit, but that wasn't enough for us to qualify this time around. I've been playing well for the last few months, and I thought, why not make the most of my form? And actually, if I can help the team in any way to reach a long way in the tournament, that'll be pleasing for me personally. And the most pleasing thing is that the team reached the finals, and I was able to contribute in almost every game that we played, and that makes me happy.
A slightly different challenge for you today, batting first, setting a total, and it was going very well for you.
Yeah, some people have been talking about how I can't score in the first innings. I only like chasing, but yeah, it was important to stay in the wicket. It was a bit slow early on, and important to hold one end. But as I said, they were brilliant in the last 4 overs. They gave about 21 odd runs, and if you have Malinga bowling Yorkers at you like that, there's not much you can do.
How frustrating, though, was it? I think you only faced 8 deliveries in those last 4 or 5 overs, watching from the other end.
Yeah, I sort of got going in the 16th, but after that I hardly faced any balls, and that was sort of annoying, but I wouldn't say frustrating, because the other people on the non-strikers end or the strikers end also were trying to hit the ball, but it wasn't coming off. As I said, one of those off days. Sometimes it happens when you can't really time the ball, and as I said, they were bowling in brilliant areas.
Will India and you learn from this evening and come back stronger?
Absolutely. We've had one off day, and the boys can be really proud of how we played. We fielded exceedingly well in this tournament. We batted well, we bowled well. And, we can be really proud of the way we played this tournament, especially after the kind of losses we had in the past. To show this character and the kind of temperament we have, I think the team can really take a lot back home and, learn from it and come stronger coming the next season.
Virat, you've been brilliant in this tournament. Many congratulations.
Thanks, Nasser. Cheers.
Virat Kohli, the man of the tournament. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, there has to be a runners-up in any tournament. So if I could invite the Indian team to come up first, please, in alphabetical order to collect their medals from the BCB President, Najmal Hassan, Varun Aaron, R. Ashwin, Stuart Binney, Shikhar Dhawan, Ravindra Jadeja, Virat Kohli again, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Amit Mishra, Ajinkya Rahane, Suresh Raina, Mohammad Shami, Mohit Sharma, Rohit Sharma, Yuvraj Singh, and MS Dhoni, the captain. Virat, you've played so many good games in the tournament. Where did that go wrong today?
Well, I think in the middle overs, our batsmen, they tried their best to get going, but it was one of those days, where we couldn't really convert the kind of start we got. Virat was the only one who looked fluent, but that was after a bit of deliveries he has played. I felt, the first half the wicket was stopping slightly more, maybe because it was under the covers for quite some time. But I think it would have got another 10-15 runs. But cricket is always about those extra 15 runs, or if the opposition gets them, you are like, okay, we should have not given those extra 15.
just 19 from the last 4 overs. Could you have done anything differently?
But I think they executed their plans well, because most of our batsmen who bat at the death, they're not the ones who play the scoop or, paddle it to the third man or fine leg areas, and they executed the Yorkers really well. And, if you're bowling to a batsman who doesn't play those shots, and if you can execute those Yorkers more often than not, the batsman will struggle to score runs. And that's what we saw, I think the last 4 overs, they executed their plans brilliantly, and that was the reason we were not really able to score runs.
Anything that can be done when they bowl, when they're so wide of off stump, and he takes one side out of the equation. It was brilliant death bowling, wasn't it?
Well, it is, and especially with Malinga, what happens is he's got that slingy action, which means it's not really coming from a great height, it's coming from a side-on angle, and it becomes more difficult to get underneath the ball, even if it's slightly off the target. And also the fact that, once the bowler bowls a few wide deliveries, and then they tend to change. But it was a perfect game for the Sri Lankan team. I think they executed their plans brilliantly. The Yorkers were Yorkers, not only to the right-handers, even to the left-handers. So overall, I think they played good cricket.
In the tournament, I know over the years you've lost some legends of the game in the last 3 or 4 years. It looks like in this tournament you found another legend in Virat Kohli.
Well, yes, the last 1.5 years, he has been brilliant. He's someone who has grabbed his opportunity with both hands. I always talk about the youngsters, always speaking about those extra 2 games. If you give them 5, they talk about, if you would have got 7 games or 8 games. But he's someone who got an opportunity to bat top of the order, and he made the most out of it. And today, he's someone who can bat in any format. And the good thing is, he plays authentic cricketing shots in all the formats and still scores runs. So I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. And also the fact that, he's someone who wants to improve in each and every game is something that really helping him.
5 different winners now, World 2020, in 5 different tournaments. Why is it such a difficult tournament to win twice?
Well, I don't know. I frankly don't know the reason. It's a difficult one. I think the condition really plays an important role. Whether you're playing in the subcontinent or when you played in the West Indies, I think all the 5 tournaments, the condition was quite different. I think South Africa was one where, you had fantastic wickets, you had pace and bounce, and you had good wickets overall, and then it changed in a few years' time at different venues. So it will always be a test, and also the fact that, how much time you get to prepare, because it's a slightly different format. If you're somebody like a Virat who plays the same shots in all the formats, it's easy, but if you're somebody, who looks to change his game a bit, you need a bit more time to settle down.
Have you enjoyed your time here in Bangladesh? Have they done the tournament well?
Well, cricketing-wise, yes, I think they have been fantastic. They arranged, everything was to perfection. I think we have been a kind of a nuisance to the Bangladeshi public. The reason being they had to stop the traffic for the buses to go. So sorry for that, but overall, they have been good. They love their cricket out here. They really come to support the Bangladesh team, and even when they are not around, they come to see some good cricket.
Thanks for the memories you've given us in this tournament, MS.
Yes, thanks.
And now can I ask the victorious Sri Lankan team to come up and receive their medals from ICC President Alan Isaac in alphabetical order. Dinesh Chandimal, Tilakarakni Dilshan, Rangana Herath, Mahela Jayawardena, Nuwan Kulasekara, Sarangal Akmal, Angelo Matthews, Ajantha Mendis, Kusul Pereira, Tisara Pereira, Sikuje Prasanna, Kumar Sangakkara, Sachitra Senanayaka, Lahiru Tiramane, and last but definitely not least, Lasith Malinga. Lasith, one tournament as captain. You come in and you win straight away. Why haven't they just made you captain all those years ago?
Yeah, I think I'm really lucky to captain last 3 games, and I think boys are doing really well. Good job for we came to the semi-final and final. I think today is the day we came to the 4-5 final, but we didn't win. I think today is Mahela and Sangha is the farewell match. I think we have to do something special. I think all the boys looking forward to that before the match. I think that's why we are successful in today.
A real team performance, wasn't it? There was Angelo Matthews with the new ball, yourself and Kulasekara with the old ball. You didn't carry any passengers at all today.
Yeah, definitely. I think we want to plan last 4-5 overs really well. I think Nuwan and myself and Sachit is bowling really well in the last few overs. I think that's why we have to stick to the 130. I think that's why we are planning to this game.
How much of a pleasure is it to have played with Kumar Sangakkara and Mahela Jayawardene?
I think I can't explain the word. They are choose, so they are always world-class players in Sri Lankan cricket, and I think we have good opportunity playing with Mahela. I think we have got good experience, and we are sharing their knowledge. I think all the young players is very faithful to play with him. I think that's a good opportunity for us and myself and all the young players. They have to get, I think Mahela and Sangha is still playing Test cricket, and one day I think all the young players looking forward to him, and they want to get all the experience before they leave international. I hope they will play many more years in Sri Lankan cricket.
Lasith, I think you've waited long enough to go and collect a trophy in a final. Please go and join your team and lift the trophy. The 2014 champion Sri Lanka.
Well, great scenes coming from Dhaka as the Sri Lankans get their hands on that trophy. They won the Asia Cup, of course, in Bangladesh not so long ago, but this really means everything to them, and it, I guess, is the next chapter in their game after that famous 1996 World Cup win in the 50-over competition. But certainly Lasith Malinga has done a great job for his side. 3 games as captain, 3 wins, and as Nasser was saying, why they bother with anybody else is quite anybody's guess. Mind you, he is going to lose 2 of his great lieutenants in Sangakkara and Jayawardene after this match in 2020 cricket. But to be there and lift a World Cup, David Lloyd didn't do it, Marcus didn't do it, but Ricky, you did. What's it like to be out there at this moment?
Oh, it's an unbelievable feeling, isn't it? You know, going into a tournament, that's what you hope happens at the end of it, and you try and structure the way that you play to make sure you're peaking at the right time and play your best game in the final. And I think that's what Sri Lanka have done today. I think, as Malinga was talking about, you know, they're planning, they were really well planned. As we've spoken about, we all thought that they outthought the Indians and their tactics were far superior, but their execution was spot on today.
So what tactical twist did they have, David Lloyd, that you spotted that allowed them to beat India, who, let's face it, were the red-hot, nailed-on favourites?
I think the last 4 or 5 overs, and he said that they practiced that long and hard, and they're bowling well and confident enough to get the Yorkers in. And you'd expect India to know what was coming. They did, but they couldn't cope with it. So the last 4 or 5 overs, I think, restricted India to the 130. And now you really do believe that we can knock these off. It's a good pitch. There's nothing here to be frightened of. I think they're a confident team, and from what we're hearing in interviews, that they're well organised from start to finish. And they don't, when you look at the team, they don't really have any weak links, do they?
Well, if they're that well organised and they plan that well, a lot of that's then got to go down to the coach, Paul Farbrace, who's only recently taken over. Yeah,
I think so. Look, I've been played against them in recent years. They've always been a very streetwise team. They're very clever, they're very canny at doing different things, and you always know that their death bowling has always been good, whether it's been Malinga or when you think about Chaminda Vas, all these people always bowled really well at the end. When you're playing in a subcontinent, and particularly in places like Colombo and places like that, you have to be able to nail your execution of your skills. You know, apart from playing against spin, you know, the seamers in particular have to be absolutely spot on when it comes to one-day cricket. Otherwise, you go around the park.
But here's a question for you. Everybody knows that what they were going to do at the back end was try and nail these Yorkers, but the Yorker is meant to be one of the highest risk deliveries, and the likes of Dhoni, we've seen him do it many times before, can put Yorkers away. Why weren't they able to get after them today?
Because of the line they bowled the Yorkers, I believe. They set a heavy offside field, even to Kohli for the last 8 or 10 balls that he faced. Kulasekara and Malinga nailed their wide Yorkers. The fact that, and Dhoni brought this up in his post-game interview there, the fact that their players at the end, none of them played the lap sweep or the reverse sweep. So that meant the Sri Lankan bowlers could run in and try and bowl the same ball over and over, and they were never put under pressure by what the Indian batsmen were doing. And if you look at what AB de Villiers has done and what he did against England, he was continually moving across the crease, which meant Dernbach and these guys couldn't continue to just try and bowl that same delivery over and over. So I thought they handled that really well. I also like the fact that they bowled right arm off spin to Yuvraj when he first came in. They got through a couple of quick overs on him with the ball spinning away with the pace off it. Before he knew it, he'd faced a dozen balls and had hardly scored.
Let's talk about Yuvraj then. The Yuvraj factor, I think even now he's slightly worried his house may be beginning to smoulder a bit, because that's the way it is in that part of the world, isn't it? That occasionally the fans kind of take umbrage, don't they, when one of their superstars lets them down. And he has got to carry the can for a lot of that disappointing total.
Well, they've tried to hide him in interviews there and said it was difficult and the ball was stopping and we weren't just on it in that middle overs on our day, but Yuvraj has got this terrific reputation of a hitter and a smiter and a destroyer of spinners. Yet the ball spinners at him and he never lifted a bat. But the key to it all is that Kohli stood at the other end just watching.
Yeah, Yuvraj's stats, just in case you're coming in and haven't joined us, he faced 21 balls for just 11 runs. And Kohli, who got 77 off 38, only faced 8 balls in the last 24 in the last 4 overs, which was disastrous for India.
I'm sure Yuvraj Singh will be looking back now and looking at his performance and thinking about how he played, and he'll be devastated about how it went. You know, there's always got to be elements of good and bad when you play in every game, especially when you get to finals. But that really cost India big time today. It just never got going and really put the other batsmen under pressure. Combine that with the bowling of what Sri Lanka did, you know, it made it even worse, because obviously from going from 11 from 21 deliveries really put them out of the game.
Just looking at some bowling figures here in the Sri Lankan first half, if you like. Matthews, 4 overs, 1 for 25. He was seen as the weak link, wasn't he? The one that you could get after. But he's got through his 4 for only 25.
I don't think they've got a weak link when you look at this team and coming into a final. You've got to have a strong team. This has been an excellent competition. They don't have a